I am Miss Loxman or Chanel Loxman, your professor for summer session 1 for math 0106 and 0308. I'm going to go through quite a bit of things that you're going to need to know to access your class. Your class isn't done in D2L. It's actually done through a specific website through the college. It's like a textbook online. So let me show you exactly how you need to access all the materials. The first thing you want to do is go to your internet browser. Google Chrome works well, so does Safari. Any device you can use will be able to do, you'll be able to use any device. So the website is lonestar.mylabsplus.com. Now, it's important that you do that website. Do not go to just Pearson or My Labs. It needs to be the one for the Lone Star College system. Now, when you sign in for the first time, your username and your password are the exact same thing, and they are your 7-digit school ID. Excuse me. So I'm not going to save my password. You guys will probably want to save your password. Just remember that you need to remember it. You do want to allow pop-ups on your computer because if you don't have them, sometimes your homework won't show up. And I'm going to skip this for right now. So if you are in the 0106 part of the course, you will see 106 and 308. And if you're just taking the 308 section, you'll just see the 308. Before you guys do anything else, the first thing I need you to do, if this is your very first time ever logging in, is to go up here to where this little person is, and it says My Profile. I want you to put in an email address where you actually check it. Click Edit, and then type in an email address that you actually check. Hit save. You're good. You do not have to change your password if you don't want to. You can keep it the exact same. Hit close, and now whenever I need to contact you, that's the email it will go to. So we're going to start with the 308 class for only those who were there, and then we'll talk about the 106 class at the end. So if you are in the summer class, you click this right here. And this is where everything you need to know about my class shows up. So you do need to agree to the user agreement. Now, here's the thing. You have to purchase a code to get this course. You have 3 options. You can purchase this code at the school library, but you have to do it online. So for those people that are using financial aid or grants and you have an access code for the library, you can do it. Just know that it will have to be shipped to your house. You can do the pay later, which means that you have about 7 days before the code expires, because everybody gets a temporary code in the beginning. So if you click the pay later, in about 7 days, your temporary access will stop. And then if you want to purchase it and it is payday on June 1st, then you would hit buy now. If you click the buy now, you will get that option to purchase the textbook. You click buy, and it takes you through the whole process. You need to have a credit card to be able to access it. If you don't have $114.99 right now, and you want to wait until you do, like I said, about 7 days, then you click the pay later option, and it gives you access until June 11th. So 11 days. It gives you 14 days from the first day of class, which would be June 14th, I guess. Normally it gives you 2 weeks of classes, which is about 7 school classes for the summer. Click next, and then return to course. Okay, so now you're in. That's all you got to do to get access. So let's go ahead and look at what you have access to. If you click on syllabus, this is a 11-page document that you really should go through and read at some point. It gives you all the information you could possibly want for this class. For example, this class consists of 7 tests, which count as 60% of your grade, a final exam, which counts as 20% of your grade, and then homework counts as 20% of your grade. Now you'll notice there are 7 tests that are 60%. That means each test is less than 10% of your grade. If you don't do well on one test, it's completely fine. So don't stress out if you don't do well on a test, because there's a good chance I might let you go back and try it again, but you also get 2 chances for every test. We're going to talk about that more in a little bit, but just don't freak out if you don't do really well on one test. So then you have your calendar. This tells you what you need to do each day. For example, Monday, June 1st, is your syllabus, which is what I'm talking about now, and sections 1.1 through 1.5. Tuesday is June 2nd. That is when we do 1.6 and 1.7 and your review. And your third day of class is when your first test is due. These test dates don't move. So you need to make sure you keep up with your materials. Can you go faster than this? Yes, you're in an online course. If you don't have to be in class every day, that's okay, but you need to keep up with what is due each day. Now, just because this is the day that we are assigning homework doesn't mean that is the day it's due. You have the entire semester to do homework, but your test doesn't open up until you have a 70% or higher on all of your homework and the review sheet. So, yes, you can get a 70. Yes, your review will open up. 70 on the review, the test will open up. Then you can go back at any time and try and get your homework grades up. So, your homework due dates are anytime through the semester, but you have to have your test dates done by these dates. Now, I'm not going to lie, the first test date is a little early. I have no problem postponing this till Friday so that we can get more of the stuff in. That doesn't mean that the test 2 is going to change or the test 3 is going to change. I'm just telling you now that test 1 is going to be moved to Friday, because to be honest, that's a lot to do in 2 days. Okay, so here's where assignments are. So you'll notice that each assignment has a video and a lesson. Do you see these little flags here? That means they're closed until you watch the prerequisite, which is this video. Now, all of the videos are required for this class, and it just is
Start today by defining some terms. For example,
a person on a screen teaching. So I didn't watch the whole thing, but now my homework's open. So you just have to click on it and then open the video for you to get the 100%. That doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it. I'm just saying that you might understand exponents, order of operations, and inequalities and not need to do that. And then you can see your score over here. And that's actually not a score at all. But this opened up. Let me see, do you have to go to the end of the video to get the 100? Let's see. Okay. those. Okay. Nope, I don't think it's a score. Anyway, so here's our first homework assignment. So homework 1.1 has 18 questions. Question 1 is, this whole section is over exponents, order of operations, and inequalities. So when you finish, you type your answer in. Let's say that 5 squared is 10, and I hit check answer, or you can just hit the enter button. It's going to tell me I'm wrong, but it doesn't count it wrong yet. So I click OK, and then I'm going to try another wrong answer. Say I try 15. So it's going to tell me it's wrong again, but it still didn't count it wrong. I have 3 chances to get this problem right. Type in the correct answer, hit enter, and there I got it right. So you get 3 chances to get the question correct. Now on this one, I'm going to get it wrong each time. I'm going to show you what happens when you do. Okay, and one more time. I'm going to put the answer as 7. Get it wrong. So I have gotten the question wrong. It tells me what the correct answer is and what my answer was. But instead of going to next question, I'm going to hit similar question, and it resets it. So now 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16, which is now correct, and I now get that question right. So when you go to, you don't ever have to save, it automatically saves everything. So if I close out of here and leave, you can check, these little check marks are telling you what questions you have right. Okay? Now, let me talk about what's available to you in each question. So if you look at question help, there is a help me solve this button. This will walk you through how to solve this problem. So this one, you do 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. Check answer. Great job. Now what the answer is, what is 7 times 7 times 7 times 7? And I think that's 256, but I'm not for sure. I know 2,401. I was way off. And then you're done. Then it'll reset the question. Now, if you want to keep the question the same, you go view an example. Now, if you view an example, it will walk you through how to solve this problem, but the problem stays the same. And that one was weird because it gave you the exact same problem. And then if you need to go to your textbook, it will actually pull up the exact place in your online textbook where you can actually see how this problem is worked. I apologize that it's taking so long. And there you go, 83 times 3 times 3 times 3, and so on. Now, if you still can't get it, there's an Ask My Instructor button. And if you type that in, that will be my email address, by the way. I haven't said it yet. And then you go, help me, and send. Then I'm going to get an email from you that says you need help on this problem. And I will either record a short video on how to solve it, or I will text you a picture of what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to get out of here, and we're going to go to the next thing. If we were in class, I would do notes in class every day for our 2-hour class, and then I would post the handwritten notes into the notes section right here. You click here, and you would see the notes. So this is 1.1. But now what I've done is I've actually recorded myself teaching 1.1. So you get the benefit of having me in the classroom, but just in video form here. Now,
Hi. So today we're going to talk about section 1.1.
that doesn't mean you have to watch them all. It doesn't even mean you have to open them. These are just my teaching. People get invested in their specific teacher styles. This is me teaching. So I wanted that to be available to you since we can't meet face to face. So if you ever go to the notes section, every unit, I'll have a unit 1, all of the notes, I'll have a unit chapter 2, whatever the calendar says. Now, I've only done 1. I'm going to do some more before class starts, so don't worry. It'll all be there. But that's how you can see my teaching style. Now, it is not the same as the videos in your assignments page. In your assignments, these are the chapter videos, not my videos. Okay? So, for our first section, you'll see that your first test is right there. It is due on June 3rd. Like I said, I'm going to make it June 5th. And you have 0 out of 2 chances done. So, you'll notice a little flag. That means you have to have the review of a done with a 70 on it. And you can't do the review unless you get a 70 on all of these. So, Unit 1, if you're pretty good at this kind of stuff and you're ready to jump in, there's no reason why you just can't click the videos and then hit close and wait till the next one. So you just click each of the videos and then these will open up. So you have to do the problems to get a 70. So you have to do at least, let me see, in an 18 question homework, you would have to do 13 problems in order for that 70 to show up. And then the review will show up. Okay? Now, like I said, you get 2 chances for every test. Due dates aren't going to move except for this first one, but you do get 2 chances. On the first test, we do ask that you don't use a calculator. Now, I'm not watching you at home. We're not using a special computer yet. We may be using a special browser for our next tests, but right now that browser isn't ready. So if you take your first test, I'm not going to be watching you. Now, since we're not meeting in class, we're taking all tests at home. But here's the thing. There are only 2 chances for this test. You don't get any other chances. So if you take the test the first time and you don't get a very good grade, it's a good idea to go back and do some reviewing before you take it again, because there are no extra tests that you can ask for. I might let you take it again later in the semester, but not more than 2 chances. Since you guys are able to do these at home and I won't be able to monitor you, there are a couple of extra strict rules that we're applying now. And that's no more tests. You get your 2 chances and that's it. Now, let me talk to you about the practice quizzes. The practice quizzes are the most amazing thing you could ever do. Because what they do, now look, this practice quiz has 8 questions in it. You start it. Now, there's no help me solve this. This is just going to be problems that you answer. Click this button down here to get to the next question. And I am going to try and solve these very fastly so that I can let me get through this really fast. And I'm going to hit submit quiz. Now, I've not completed it. Yes, I just want to get through it. But what it's going to do is I can actually go look at my questions and see which ones I got wrong. So I got number 5 wrong. And it gives answer feedback of what I didn't do right and how I can solve this again. Now, if you go back and take this practice quiz again, it's going to give you different problems. And the questions that are pulled are the problems that you miss most in the homework. And it's the same format that your test will be in. So, if you want to get a good review in before your test, take the practice quizzes. You can take them as many times as you want. They don't average into your score. So you're all good. I apologize for my dogs in the background. Now, let's go back up to syllabus. I'm going to go through some of the most important parts in this. Okay, so you've got that you need your textbook, which is online at the bookstore, or you could buy it here. And we do recommend that you use the scientific calculator. We do not recommend or allow graphing calculators in any of the developmental courses. If you ever need to get a hold of me, that is not my email address. I'm going to post it where you can actually see it. So this talks to you about how to get in, and I've already showed you how to do that. If you need help, you email Mr. Sesente or me, and we can help you. The videos are required material, and you have to click on them before your homework section is unlocked. All homework is done in MyLabs Plus, no exceptions. And you have to have a 70 or higher before the review will open up. And you have to have a 70 or higher before the test will open up on the review. Practice quizzes, we've talked about those. There are 7 tests during the semester. You get 2 chances for each test. Now, you won't access the test until the homework's done and the review is done. And you must have them done prior to the day of the test, or you won't be allowed to take the test. If you are not prepared to take your test on this date set by the instructor, you will earn a score of 0 on your first attempt, leaving only 1 attempt left. If you miss a deadline, it sets you back for the entire semester, and I will set certain requirements for you to do it after the deadline. Now, here's the most important thing. Tests for this class are not proctored. Because you are on a computer, we are asking that you be honest. You are not permitted to use any form of calculator on test 1, and students are permitted to use the scientific calculator after test 1. You are not permitted to receive any help from software, website, or a person during the test. It is an honor code, and we expect you to abide by it. All right, final exams. Like I said, you get a final exam, and you have to have a 70 on the review before you can take this the final. You must have a 50% or higher on the final, and an overall average of 70 in the course to pass the course. So if you take the final and you get a 37, but you have an 80 in the class, you still fail. And believe me, that happened to one of my students before. So just so you know, you have to have a 50 on the final and a 70 overall average. Grades are 7 tests, homework, and final exam. Now, I have a 2-point engagement bonus that I can give to the overall averages, and that means that you've attended class every day. So you actually have to log in to your homework 5 days out of the 7 of a week to get attendance for that week. I will go in and look at when you logged in, and I will take attendance. And as long as you've logged in every day, you get attendance for that day. All right, so 90% to 100 is an A, B is 80 to 89, C is 70 to 79. If you get below a 70, you don't pass the course. Now, I will be taking attendance online. If you want to drop the course, You can do so before June 23rd for your W on your transcript. If you haven't logged in and started your assignments by June 4th, you will be dropped. And here is all of the other stuff that you may need to know. Okay, so that's how you will access all of your information. You can start at any time as long as you have watched this video. Now, if you are in the 306 class, or the 106 class, I'm sorry, there are not a lot of requirements for this. There are assignments. I'm going to pay later. And it's the same code for the 308 class, so you don't have to pay twice. But the quizzes in here match the homework from our first 308 class, and they don't actually count as a grade. They're there to give you practice, to help you with some skills you may not have to be successful in 308. Normally, if we were in an in-class setting, you would come 30 minutes before class, and we would actually do some practice that would be important for that class. Since I don't know what you're going to be doing each day, and whether you're going to go ahead or whether you're going to take more time to do some stuff, so I need you to let me know your weaknesses so that I can create a specific video for that weakness. For example, if you don't know how to add and subtract fractions, that's important for this class. So email me and say, Ms. Loxman, I don't know how to add and subtract fractions. Can you shoot me a video on how to do that? And I will post those in the notes section here. Right now, I don't have anything listed because I don't have any notes yet, but this is where they will go. So if you have issues with something, hey, I don't know how to add integers, let me know. This is where I'll put them. Okay? So that is all that I have for you on how to get started. Remember to go to your profile and change your email because that's how I will get a hold of you. And if there's anything that you need at any point in this class, please email me and I will post my email address right here. I look forward to a great semester. You guys are going to do awesome. Have a great